The next rum that I'm featuring on this St Lucian deep dive is perhaps a rum that I shouldn't really be looking at because it is not globally available. It is predominantly European only, and we were only lucky enough to get it in the UK because of the Craft Rum Club. So I know I am sort of taking out the vast majority of my audience over in the US. I'm really sorry. But the reason I've got it is because A, I want to see how different it is to the Chairman's Reserve original. But B, this is potentially a sign of things to come from St Lucia. Yes, I know in the past they've done some 1931 different cask releases there, but now we're in the modern day where a lot of distillers, a lot of brands are actually doing special releases. This is the Eco Series 1 Parrot Edition. So the very first, let's dive in. Let's see how different it actually is to the Chairman's Reserve original. Hey Rum fans, welcome back to the channel. But for those of you that are new around these parts, hello, welcome. My name is Steve the Barman, and here on my blue channel, I mainly look at rum tasting. I take a different country, a different island each month, and then I get work from the cheapest up to the more expensive, trying to find my favorite rum from that country or island. Predominantly my uses are the occasional neat sipping, but cocktail uses, so that's a big thing for me. But over all these rums, I very rarely, if ever, go over the £50, the $60 US, 60 euros mark, because I really want to focus in on the cheaper, less kind of, you know, the less expensive stuff that's out there, the less geek orientated rum. So if that sounds like fun, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But don't forget, I've now got 5 other YouTube channels, all with their own specific niches, looking at different topics. So go and check those out in the description below. Now, when it comes to this Eco Series 1, be honest, I've not really got the DNA here for what this rum is. I couldn't tell you. I'm assuming, because of the price, I'm assuming that it's a little bit more aged than the Chairman's Reserve original. But it's for the, you know, there's not really any details out there. This was a Spiribam exclusive to Europe that did a deal, because we've got a good presence here in the UK. Spiribam did a deal with Craft Rum Club here in the UK. And this was maybe October's special release. I'll be honest, because I didn't do a video for the Craft Rum Club, this is the first time I've actually opened it. I was using this at Rumfest for daiquiris and cocktails, but I never actually tasted the rum neat. So I've got no idea of what to expect here. So let's look at the price. Now, obviously, there's no point me giving you UK price because it's not available here in the UK. So I looked at a few different European bottle or off licenses, whatever you want to call them, spirits wholesalers, and took kind of an average price. And there wasn't much fluctuation here, and took it that to kind of equivalent to what we would pay here. So to equate the European price down is 31, I'm going to round down, 31 UK pounds. So that was obviously near as damn it, 40 US dollars. The actual price for it, I've got averaged it out at 36 euros. That's kind of what I've seen of different places, different countries around Europe. That's kind of the average that I got to, 36 euros. So that's what it equates to in British and US. But to go out to my next two audiences, rounded up, Australian dollars, sort of 58 Australian dollars, and Canadian dollars, 53 Canadian dollars. So in a grand scheme of things, let's look at the euros. 8 euros more expensive than the Chairman's Reserve original for you. How does that stack up? Now, before I deep dive on the old nose, it's pretty similar on the nose, but just one thing I forgot to mention is that the whole Eco Series, I'm assuming this is, as they go down into number 2, number 3, number 4, they're going to kind of help different things. This one is the Parrot Edition. So there's money, basically there's money donated from every bottle sold to helping save parrots and parrot conservation in St Lucia and surrounding areas. So on the old nostrils, quite fruity, minimal sort of wood influence, which would hint to me it's a slightly younger rum on there. But it does smell, I've got apricot-y vibes coming off there, honeyed apricot-y vibes. It smells, to me, it smells like my style of rum, something I'm really going to enjoy. As I say, on the side-by-side, putting the original against that, there isn't that much difference, I'll be honest. Perhaps a touch more vanilla-iness coming off the Chairman's original, but both have got like a little fruity sort of element to them. I would say the Eco Series, the special edition, I would say it just slightly edges it on fruitiness. Oh, that is actually rather delicious. Oh, I kind of like that. The apricot does come through on the palate. The honeyed apricot does come through. I get that honey element as well. Bit of vanilla, bit of burnt toffee, burnt treacle, but not too much. So there is, I wouldn't put this as a higher aged rum. I would definitely put this below Legacy. I'd put this perhaps more slightly aged than the original, but not, you know, not dramatically higher. You're not talking like 4 or 5 years higher. You might have a different blend, so there might be an older rum in the blends, but I'm saying from my tasting skills, I'm saying in the youngest rums, there isn't actually too much difference, but that is delicious. That has got enough aged woody bite in there to kind of, for your rum and cokes and all that. It might be actually a little bit too fruity for me for a rum and coke, but I'm really going to, do you know what? I'm really going to enjoy this as a rum fashioned. Just a little subtle, tiny hint of sugar in there. I'm quite happily drinking that neat as well. That has got that peppery bite over the roof of my tongue, but nothing too dramatic. As for me, as a neat sipper, as someone who likes younger aged rums, I actually think that's quite delicious. I'd say of the original, I get a slight extra nod towards dried fruits, plums, sultanas, raisins, dates, that kind of thing, and a little bit more toffee treacly vibe. I would say that does edge it on the lighter the lighter notes that are coming off there, the fruitier notes, like the apricot-y kind of things, the stone fruity vibe. That edges it. The aftertaste of this, I'm getting slightly more kind of that peppery tingle on the roof of the tongue, whereas this is more a little bit more forgiving, shall we say. I really like that Eco Series. And then as a Rum Fashioned, that actually really does come into its own. I really like that as a Rum Fashioned. Light. For those of you that want a bit more aging on your rum, you're probably more inclined towards the Chairman's Reserve Original. And those wood notes on there, because this is quite light and this is quite fruity. But for me, in my palate, I really do like that. Now, I'm not going to bother do this as a Mai Tai because it is purely just single, like special edition. I would dare say, because of that as a Rum Fashion, I would dare say the original for me would probably make a better Mai Tai. But this is the interesting thing, because as I pointed out in a few other videos, you know, Spirit Bam, who own Chairman's Reserve, also do own Clement and what's the other one? Rum JM from Martinique. So you might, and you will, start to see more collaborations with cane juice. And this is what I mean. I don't know the DNA of this. This might, I don't know. But you'll start to see more collaborations going on there between the three distilleries, or at least cane juice vibes coming over into Chairman's Reserve. So I, for one, am a little bit excited about that. I do like this. This is different enough for me to kind of warrant tasting it outside of the Chairman's Reserve Original. I appreciate that this is special reserve and not mass market, so I appreciate that. But if you are fortunate enough to be able to get a bottle and you really like your Chairman's Reserve, I would recommend you trying this. I'm totally going to, like, for me, I'm totally going to enjoy that sipping that neat, and I'm totally going to enjoy that as a Rum Fashioned. What did I say in euros? What was it? 36 euros compared to Chairman's Original, compared to 27 euros for that. Do you know what? Where are we? 8 euros? 7, what, 8, 9 euros difference? That is a bit of a jump. I wouldn't say it's vastly superior, vastly different, but it is, you know, it's not going to break the bank, and it is different enough. So I'm excited to see what comes in Eco Series 2 and 3, and whether who gets what. You know, 2 might come to the UK market, 3 might go to the US market. I don't know how it's all going to pan out, but I'm excited to see what comes next. Now, the next rum I'm going to visit on this journey is Chairman's Reserve Legacy. You'll be able to watch that up there in that corner. It's a rum that I've held in high regard for quite a long time, but I purposely haven't had it now for quite a few months since starting these deep dives, because I want to take each country in turn. So am I still going to love the legacy? Is it still going to be the cocktail beast that I think it is?